Hi, I'm Ander or FBI Open Up, and before we get started, I'd like to announce that this channel now has an affiliate code with BlueStacks. What is BlueStacks, you may ask? Well, BlueStacks is a free and very trusted Android emulator that I personally use to play Azur Lane on my PC. It lets me get better performance than my phone, and it also lets me record YouTube videos for you guys. If you're interested in downloading a good emulator so you can also play Azur Lane on your PC, you have to go and click this affiliate link in the description below. Click that, and then it will bring you to this page where you can download BlueStacks and run Azur Lane on your PC. If you do that, then BlueStacks will give this channel a small commission for it, so this is a very easy and free way to support the channel as I save up for a better mic. Thanks for all the support that you guys have given this channel for the past couple weeks, and I hope that I can continue doing that in the future. Moving on to the main topic for today, we have the equipment guide for a very small category of ships in Azur Lane, the Aviation Battleships. Currently there are only 4 in the game, and they are all retrofitted versions of a normal battleship, who are Hyuuga, as you can see right here, Issei, Yamashiro, and Fusou retrofit. Judging by how they are called aviation battleships, you probably have guessed by now that they have swapped out their auxiliary gun for a seaplane, giving them that aviation, once they have fully become retrofitted. They do get some aviation, so you can use that to achieve aerial superiority, but in most situations, this subcategory of battleships ends up being worse, since they will have no way in dealing with those suicide boats that rush towards your backline, as they have lost their auxiliary guns. So in comparison, you could have someone like Nagato, with an auxiliary gun to deal with all of those suicide boats, but on the other hand, someone like Hyuuga trades out their auxiliary gun for a plane instead. Now, this seaplane is actually nothing special either. It's only got one bomb with mediocre damage and a slow reload time. It is best used to clear your screen of torpedoes and other projectiles. And finally, when they do make their transition to aviation battleships, they actually end up losing one main gun salvo in the process. That means that instead of shooting a battleship's normal 3 salvos, they will only shoot 2 salvos instead. The widely agreed upon only good aviation battleship between the 4 is Hyuuga Retrofit over here, as she has very good stats along with skills that make up for an aviation battleship's drawbacks. Her retrofit skill, Melee Artillery right here, shoots the same HE projectiles that Saratoga shoots with her skill whenever something comes near her, which can easily one-shot suicide boats and increase her DPS by a considerable amount. Plus, the loss of a main gun salvo is also no big deal to Hyuuga Retrofit, as she actually ends up doing the same amount of damage with her increased main gun efficiency from her retrofit stuff, like this one right here, and this one here, and along with her 2 other skills that she has, which boost her firepower significantly, one being Artillery Command, which boosts all of your backline by 15% of their 15% firepower, and also Cover Fire, which increases her own firepower by 20%. Now these 2 firepower buffs stack for Hyuuga, giving her an extra 35% firepower in every battle. Compared to other aviation battleships, none of these 3 come ever even close to having as much damage and utility as Hyuuga Retrofit. Now all 3 of the others do not have the ability to defend themselves against suicide boats. Hyuuga does because of her melee artillery skill, but the others do not when they become aviation battleships. Issei Retrofit is okay, but her skills are nowhere as near as good as her sister Hyuuga. The other 2, being Yamashiro and Fusou Retrofit, are actually considered much worse than their non-retrofit form, which is kind of odd. But this is because they lose so much main gun damage due to being an aviation battleship, which ends up drastically hurting their performance, and they have no skills to make up for that. Unlike Hyuuga, for example. So then most of the community would actually recommend retrofitting them all the way up until the very part right here, but not actually retrofitting up to this aviation battleship, because you can get the stats of this retrofit stuff to make a nice and beefy Yamashiro or Fusou, but this way they are not turned into an aviation battleship, so they can keep their auxiliary gun right here, instead of having a plane in that slot. Now with all that being said, let's finally move on to some gear recommendations for them. Now moving on to the main gun, the first slot. Since aviation battleships have no barrage in their skills, they are better off with a higher damaging but slightly slower fire rate gun. The best in the slot for this would go to the very reliable purple 406 Mark VI main gun. This is due to its high damage, tight spread, and good accuracy. You can get this from the Eagle Union boxes and stages 6-2 and 6-3. Now also if you have it, there's also a mention to the prototype version, which is the 381mm. It has a slightly faster fire rate and more firepower, but it does have less overall damage. I honestly don't know which one is the better of the two. I'm just interchangeably using them because I have both of them. If anyone does know which one performs better, please let me know in the comments. Now one thing that I do know though, is that the purple one is definitely significantly less parts to upgrade to +10, so this is overall better and more efficient than upgrading your prototype version. It's up to you if you think that it's worth upgrading, but for me, I just upgraded one of them because I had it, that's all. Now the next slot is going to be the Reconnaissance / Seaplane slot. Now the literal only thing that you can put in this slot right now for the English server is the Aichi E16A Zuiyun. Hopefully I said that right. You have no other options, as you can see right here. Oh, actually, I have no extras, so there you go. It is only the Aichi E16A Zuiyun. It doesn't really do that much special stuff. It's got only one 500-pound bomb. You can get it from gold and purple Sakura Tech boxes, or in the Visitors Dyed in Red A3 stage or C3 stage. It's got a slow reload, only one bomb, and one 360 damage. So it's not really the best of planes, but it is definitely there and it's better than nothing, so you might as well put it on. For the anti-air slot, just like all my other videos, all gold anti-air guns perform roughly the same, so just use whatever you'd like. If you do not have gold, as a reminder, the best purples are the 127mm mounted AA gun right here, as well as the purple version of the Roomba. Now for auxiliary gears, since aviation ships do actually have planes, I would still not recommend using aviation gears to boost their aviation performance. So for instance, they can actually equip steam catapults and stuff, but I would not recommend this because that one plane, as I've already mentioned, the seaplane that they get, is nothing special and you're not really maximizing their damage if you're trying to boost the aviation for this thing right here. The better alternative would be to just follow the same stuff as a normal battleship, which is the high damaging white shell or the black shell that you can get from core data. This works incredibly well at boosting their firepower, as you get a nice 55 firepower and 15 accuracy, along with that very useful main gun crit damage skill. And for the super heavy shell, you get a massive firepower boost, plus some extra main gun crit rate. Together, they boost the firepower very well of Hyuuga, and this will drastically increase her damage with her battleship salvos. Now, if you do not have those, you can also throw on a classic SG radar. Oh wow, my voice just like... Ooh. Okay. Anyway, there you can put on an SG radar to get some nice accuracy boost, and that very, very good ambush skill, so that you have a decreased chance of getting ambushed and increasing the evasion when you are getting ambushed. Or you could put, alternatively, the purple fire control radar right here, which is kind of a worse version of the white shell, but it is very solid and you can still put it on if you do not have the core data white shell yet. Now if you need more AA, the last thing that I could recommend is putting on the high performance air radar. So in chapter 13, if you do want to use your Hyuuga retrofit, you could definitely slap one of these on and increase the AA of your fleet by a very large sum with that. Now with the gear loadouts all out of the way, it is now time to finally see them in action. I'll be using my Hyuuga retrofit on stage 7-2, because right now I'm saving my oil for the Crimson Echoes event that is coming tomorrow. So, in spite of this, I'm going to use Limit Break 0 Cassin and Downs right here. Here's my Downs' loadout, and here's my Cassin's loadout, if you guys are interested. And I'll be using Hyuuga as a backline, so that I can use the minimum oil possible. And also, it is good because Hyuuga can get that XP bonus to go and help me with my Azuma grind right here. If this would nicely load. My Azuma is at 54% for the first part, so I'm making my way downtown. Now I'm farming 7-2 because it's the gold farm stage, so 4 nodes pop up. So overall, this is a really good map for me to farm right now with my Hyuuga Retrofit. Now also during these battles I can mention all of her skills and what is making her good and what is making her bad. By the way, it's going to be playing on auto, so if I don't accidentally hit a couple of those suicide boats, it's not me playing, it's the game. Also, it's a perfect demonstration of Hyuuga's skill right here. I'll tell you when it happens. Cassin and Downs are extremely good at Limit Break Zero. They provide so much survivability so that you can go and put these two in the front. Okay, here we go. So as you can see, melee artillery just procced. It looks exactly like Saratoga's ability. And I did put those clouds as a skin on. But Hyuuga Retrofit does some serious work. Anyway, back to Cassin and Downs. They are very good at Limit Break Zero because they cost only 1 oil each, and those are the Reconnaissance. Oh shoot, I've been saying that wrong the whole video. Reconnaissance planes. Anyway, you saw they dropped a couple of bombs, but they didn't really do too much. That was her melee artillery skill again. It does very good damage as you saw, it actually one-shot those ships. So it's very good. It's got a 10-second cooldown in between waves. As you can see here, Hyuuga's basically doing everything. Cassin and Downs are just kind of surviving and waiting for Hyuuga to do everything again. Now what you do for the 7-2 is that you would do 3 of these battles for the mob fleets, then 4 of these nodes will pop up, and each of them will have a chance to get some gold. This is why this is called the gold farm map. It's also very good because you can get the golden Roomba from it too. Well, the blueprints for it. Anyway, you can see, Cassin and Downs for 1 oil each have amazing survivability and insane potential. I definitely recommend at least leveling these people up. Now, the reason why they're used is because of their skill, and looks like... oh, never mind, melee artillery did not proc that time. Well, anyway, back to Cassin and Downs for the 3rd time. They are used because they have Baptismal Flames as their skill. Okay, there's melee artillery. And here's the planes. Yeah, it's kind of lackluster. So their skills actually heal themselves once they drop below a certain health percentage. So it makes them very good, and that can happen once for every single battle. So that will increase their survivability by a ton. So as you're watching, just see how Hyuuga is basically doing everything, and Cassin and Downs' only job is to just survive. Now I think this is the last battle before all of the nodes pop up. I guess we'll do this one because it's blocking this node right here. Then after that, this showcase will be done, and we can collect some gold, hopefully. Now, I didn't know if you guys were seeing this, but she does do a lot of high damage to those 2 firepower skills that she activates in the front of the battle, which is the artillery thing and her firepower self-boosting skill. So her main gun is going to shoot for some serious damage whenever she does proc her salvos. And also when she does proc, I will show you that she only shoots 2 main gun salvos, 1 being right here, this triple burst, and then 2 being right here. A battleship will usually shoot 3 of those instead of 2, but aviation battleships do only have 2 instead. And there's those crappy reconnaissance planes. I am so sorry that I've said it so badly for the past couple minutes. But I'll definitely go and make sure that I do something about that. Anyway, look at that amazing damage coming from Hyuuga. About 5,000 per shot. Melee artillery hits with every single shot being another 2,000 damage. Looks like Cassin and Downs are hugging that destroying ship, and Baptismal Flames procced that she could get kept alive. So I really think Hyuuga carried that time, and as you can see, they're getting a lot of XP from this, so it's perfect for the Azuma grind, especially for the backline, because she gets MVP. It's like about 6,000 per run, so 6,000 XP per run, and it's only costing about 45 oil, because Hyuuga is 13 oil, and the other 2 are 2 oil each, making that 45 per run. And wow, 2 gold nodes in a row. And also a purple thing, and finally an emergency thing. Well, that was actually a very good run. With that battle showcase finished, that will conclude my equipment guide for aviation battleships. As always, if you found this information helpful, consider dropping a like and subscribing. Don't forget to press that notification bell for my future uploads as well. Feel free to leave a comment if you have any questions that need to be answered, and I'll try my best to reply. With that being said, that's all I have for this video, so I'll see you in the next one. Bye!